the 31-day healing and self-love program. Let's get started. So it's becoming whole. Becoming whole is the whole program overview. That is what it's all about. Is me teaching you how to become whole, rebuilding your mind, your body, your spirit through the RPI and leadership by me, Coach Nye. So the RPI leadership, the RPI is the acknowledge, release, practice, inner exploration, and empowerment. That's what I created. Those are the 5 pillars of my foundation that created the Trinity of Fitness, which is spiritual, mental, and physical, right? So that is what created the Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp. So let's go ahead and get started. You can't heal one without healing the other. That's why. It's the spiritual, mental, and the physical. So we're going to be rebuilding your mind, as I said, through your body, your soul, and through the iPower leadership. So the overview is healing your mind, right? You healing your mind. We're going to heal your mind using CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy, thought awareness, which is emotional regulation, and behavior shifting. We're going to strengthen the spirit through prayer, reflection, scripture, and intentional grounding. We're going to strengthen the body through alignment, routine, discipline, and movement. Build leadership qualities rooted in humility, confidence, discipline, and integrity. Also increasing emotional intelligence, self-compassion, and self-awareness. All of these are part of the Trinity of Fitness, which is the spiritual, mental, and the physical. So today's topic is release what no longer serve you. Are y'all ready for that? I'm going to teach you how to release what no longer serves you. Now, you cannot heal you cannot heal while holding on to what hurts you. That is the biggest thing. Everybody tell you to go heal, right? Everybody's like, go heal. You need to heal. You need to heal. And the people that's telling you need to heal has never healed. All they did was go through a breakup and they became stone-hearted. And they just like, no, you got to go heal. You can't come in my life. You got to go heal. But you're not healed. What you did was identify something and then you harden your heart to it. That's not what healing is. Healing is identifying a thing, that targeted thing that caused pain, right? But getting to the root cause of it. Meaning that breakup is not what caused you to heal. That breakup, that just triggered you from all the longevity, the childhood trauma, everything that hurt you before then, which caused you to be with a person that would hurt you. Why would you put up with it? Because it was learned behavior. But we'll get into that later. So using the RPI, we're going to release fear, release guilt, and release the old identity. Releasing fear. For me, if I fear anything, I'm that type of person. I run straight into it. I'm the second born. Of course, I'm going to do what I want to do. I run straight into it. Oh, you scary? I'm running straight into it. Oh, you think you're going to frighten me? I'm running straight into it because I always conquer fear with my boldness. Because God said, fear not. What am I supposed to fear? I'm not supposed to fear anything. To not fear anything. So why am I fearing man? Why am I fearing what a man can do to me? You're no greater than God. So yeah, you can come for me. Yeah, you can slander my name. Yeah, you can talk about me. You can drag me through the mud. That only hurt for the moment. But in the long run, God is going to handle my business because I'm a tail. He's going to handle my business. And I'm going to continue moving forward because I understand what the fear is for. The fear is brought to bring in chaos. The fear is brought in so you will not go, past go. You won't step into your purpose. No. They don't want you to step into your purpose. The enemy don't want you to step into your purpose, so he brings fear. So if God told you to create a business, the fear comes in. The enemy comes in. That's why I tell you guys, Satan is not a person, a being, a thing. Satan is words. Satan is the roadblocks. Satan is the negative self-talk. Satan is all the negativity that surrounds you, that was built up from your childhood. Because in your childhood, somebody told you wasn't good enough. And you believed that. You processed that as the truth. And you processed a lie as a truth and you became that. See, what you think you become, right? So in order to release fear, you have to identify that it is fear within you. Something is making you fearful. Reason why you haven't went live, press live, or did your social media? Because of fear. What will people say? What will people think? You have to release that by confronting it. Press live. Open that business. That's the first hurdle, right? And then you want to release the guilt. Let me explain something to you. This all starts from childhood. let me explain to you why I say childhood, because that's where the root starts, and then you blossomed from there, and you blossom every lie from there. You processed the lie as a truth as a child, and everything became, you blossomed it and you watered it. You allow other people to water that seed of lie, that lie, and it blossomed into more lies, which is more negative self-talk, which is more doubt, which is more, and then all of a sudden, guess what? Since you birthed that thing, right? Now what, you birthed it, and guess who the father is? Guilt. Guess who the cousins is? Shame. That's what that is. So now you're holding on to guilt. Well, if I release this, right? If I press live, if I start this business, my family, my friends, these people, they're going to talk about me. Oh, and look what they doing all on social media. You do one wrong thing and then you go viral for a wrong thing. Okay, I'm nervous about that. I don't want to do that. And then the guilt come of, well, then I'm going to feel like this. I'm going to feel so bad. And then my kids are going to feel bad. And then this and blah, blah, blah. And then guess what else you birth? You birth that identity that you created and all of that mess that you were born into. You have to release your old identity. In order to be success. Dang, that ain't want to come out at all. In order to be successful, in order to be successful in anything that you do, this is what you have to do. You have to release the fear by confronting it, right? Release the guilt by not tying in that old thought process, right? That they told you, that you feel you created what the results was going to be before you even tried it. And then you want to release the old identity because you're not that person anymore. Anytime that you step into purpose, you no longer become that person that you used to be. So let's look at Jesus. Let's look at this. All growing up, Jesus knew who he was, just like you knew who you were. Jesus knew who he was, but the people around him wasn't ready to accept who he was. The people around him was not trying to see him for who he was. The people around him seen him as Jesus of Nazareth. Dude, you're a carpenter. And if you don't go over there and make something, bruh, you Jesus from Nazareth. Who is you think you talking? See? Right? And that's you, because you're holding on to the old identity of, I can't start this business. I can't go live. I can't speak to people because they're going to see me as this person. Yes. But when Jesus had to leave his hometown in order for him to step into his purpose, he left there and stepped into his purpose, because the longer you stay in that stuck environment of the people that told you this is all you'll be and you're going to be nothing more. If you stay stuck there, right? What happens is, you believe that and you'll never step into your purpose. So Jesus left and then he stepped into his purpose. See, when he stepped into his purpose, he had to leave the old him behind, which we don't know if he ever fell a victim for that or not. But what I'm telling you is, when you step into your purpose, you have to leave that old negative self-talk, that old mindset alone. You have to leave that where it is. You have to leave it back where it is. You have to say, you know what? I am no longer her. I don't care what people say about me. Listen, your past is only going to judge you from what they know. And they're going to hold tight to that because that's where they were comfortable at when you were there. See, they're not comfortable with you as you elevate and you step into purpose. They don't understand it. They can't speak the language. And if they can't speak the language, that means they can't keep up to talk down to you. That means that you have one up on them. So they're going to hold on to the old version of you. But when you step into purpose, you have to shed that old version. Let them have that. You can have that old version of me. I'm over here now, right? So that is how you release the old identity and then you become. Now, with the cognitive behavior therapy piece to it is identifying the thought. Same thing as we go on. Release fear, release guilt, release old identity. Now, identify the thought. I want you to challenge it and reframe it. So that is the negative thought. Why do I think this way? Right? Identify the thought. Why do I think this way? Why am I beating myself up? And then you're going to challenge it by speaking life over it and find ways to disconnect by replacing it with positive self-talk, desirable things. Listen, I created this program with you guys in mind, and I got my teacher manual, so we're about to keep rolling. Okay, let's keep going. So the Trinity, we got 3 sessions, so this is the first session. The Trinity is spirit, letting go, right? Letting go and pray. That's what you have to do with the Trinity part. With the mental part, you have to list limiting beliefs. I want you to list the limiting beliefs because I need you to talk to it. And then the physical, deep breathing for release. So these are the three things that I want you to check and balance yourself out. Thank y'all for the follow, likes, and the shares. These are the three things that I want you guys to challenge yourself. I want you to, by the spirit, spiritual, I want you to let go and go pray. Mentally, I want you to list the limiting beliefs. Physically, I want you to practice deep breathing and learning to release. We talked about that on day 1. If you missed it, go check it out on YouTube. Now, the questions that I want to ask you is why emotional release feels scary. Why does it feel scary? Listen, during the healing process, a lot of people get stuck on the releasing part. Releasing. Why? It's because of control. It's because of control and that is very toxic, the control piece. I'm going to teach you. So you grew up and maybe things were taken from you or you were told to be a thing or this, that, and the third. Whatever it was, that something that you love was taken from you. So as you grew, you learned to keep it close. I don't care how bad it is. I don't care how damaging it is. I don't care how old it is. You're not letting it go because you grew up in a place where things were taken from you and now you're in protective mode. But you turned a negative and you turned it positive, but baby, it's still toxic. Do you understand? It's still toxic. You're holding on to things that don't love you. You're holding on to things that wouldn't even spit on you if you caught fire. You're holding on to things that wouldn't even feed you if it was your last meal. Do you understand? So the reason why it's so scary to release is because it became our safe place. Meaning that's all you know. You know, that's all you know. And that's that's the only thing you know how to navigate in your life. That's all you know, right? That's it. It's your safe space. But I'm here to tell you that what you're holding on to is toxic. Let's move that out the way. Let's take that out the way. And let's look at it for what it is. I'm going to hold on to something to hurt me. You bring people into your life because of the loneliness or whatever gap or the kindness of your heart. Excuse me. You bring them into your life. When you bring them into your life, now their job is to destroy you. But you're blinded from that because of you only seeing from your heart of kindness. But they're seeing you with their physical eyes. And their physical eyes is to sabotage, is to hurt, is to bring you down a peg. You know, when they knock you off that high horse that they put you on because you've been operating from your spiritual eyes. That's why you connected with that person, because you see nothing but love, right? But when you start to heal, you understand that, yes, you are a seer. Yes, you did see yes, you did love from your spiritual side. Yes, you did all these things, but it's still not meant for you. And I teach people, just because it's a good deed does not mean it's of God, that God told you to do that. That's where a lot of us get it twisted. Listen, I will go and try and save the world because I always felt I was going to save the world. And yes, I am. I'm the coach that's going to save the world by teaching you how to heal. So get ready. But I used to go about it the wrong way, meaning that I would see all type of homeless people. I don't care who it is. I don't care what it was. Even if you wasn't homeless, it does not matter. If I seen a person in need, I'm pouring into them. Oh my goodness, I got to pour into them because this is what God would do. This is what Jesus would do. I would pour into them. There's so many of us out there. Here's the hard fact and the hard truth that people don't want to look at. They want to say, no, that's God, like that is so good. And then you're wondering and you're constantly crying to God, God, why did this happen to me? Because he never sent you over there in the first place. You got to understand and know God's voice. Like the Ark of the Covenant. He said, don't touch it. And it was about to fall. They touched it. They died. Period. It was a good deed, but God said, don't touch it. That's how I want you to look at it. If God didn't send you over there, then that's not where you're supposed to be. And I teach people to stay where you are, stay in your presence, stay where you are. Because what happens is when you step out of that and go and manage somebody else's business, because God already got somebody coming to that person. God already figured everything out for us, right? So let's take this example. You see this person over there. It's cold. I'm going to go give him the coat. Give him my coat off my back. You know how y'all like to say the shirt off my back. I give you the shirt off my back. And you go give him the shirt off your back. Now you cold. Now you cold. But you left your post, your throne where you were supposed to be sitting, because God has somebody coming to you. God will bring the people that he needs you to help. He'll bring them to you. But you got off your throne, went and gave that person your coat. Now you're cold. And guess what? God already had him set up. Now the person that was supposed to come meet him has brought him 4 coats. Now he got 5 and you got none. And now you're sitting around and you're thinking like, well, of course he'll give me one because I just gave him one. No, that's your loss. That wasn't your job. Now, the person that came to you was the one that needed your coat. Because that person, when you give them their coat, your coat, God is going to bless them and they're going to come back and pour into you. But you missed that because you went minding somebody else's business. Don't leave your post trying to take care of someone else. So I'm going to leave that there, right? So let's get into what happens when you suppress emotions, when suppressed emotions control us. What happens when suppressed emotions control us? Well, we become what we think, and it will control our actions. When suppressed emotions, when we don't identify what those suppressed emotions are, or identify that, hey, I call them, you mismanage them. So you're sad, and now you're acting out of anger. Well, that's not how you're supposed to act at all. I think when you're sad, you're supposed to shed some tears, feel it, embrace it, let it go, release it. But you angry. Now, because it's suppressed emotions, right? Somebody did something to you now. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to deal with it. You know, I've been hurt all my life. Okay, you did this to me. But this person today, this wasn't even much for you to charge off and jump off at. Today, this person was just like, hey, you know, I like your hat, but I wish you didn't have that cross on it. And it just took you over the edge. Because now you're reacting to something from the suppressed emotions that you had and from the people that did you this wrong all this long time ago. But now you're taking it out on people. No, we're not doing that. Listen, thank y'all. Welcome in. If y'all haven't, go ahead, like, share, follow. You're in class. So this is Trinity of Fitness Boot Camp. This is the topic today is release what no longer serves you. I teach you how to heal. So you in the right class, get you a notebook because you got homework as well. Also, I have the homework pinned to the top of my page for this week, and the assignment is inside my story. So go find it wherever it is. Do your homework. Can't go wrong. It's all about healing you. So suppressed emotions will cause you, and it will control your actions, right? So in order to make sure that you do not spaz out, we need to identify, and no more suppressing. We're going to acknowledge it in that moment. Thank you, Ebony, for the follow. We're going to, in that moment, we're going to address that. So how do we address that? By attaching it to the right emotion, first off. So if you're sad, don't become angry. What you angry for? If they made you cry, now you made me cry, so now I got to fight. That doesn't make sense at all. But that's how we were raised because we didn't know, we wasn't emotionally intelligent. So it was like, no, you make me cry. That mean that I got to fight. No, what that mean is they made you cry. So either they hurt your feelings, embarrassed you, shamed you, or what. You see all those that you skipped over and went straight to angry. They did not make you angry. It made you either they hurt your feelings, they made you sad, or they made you, what's the other one? They made you embarrassed and shameful, guilty. You got all these different things that you can use, but you use anger because in your household, probably it was only 2 emotions that you can have, right? To express your feelings. And that was either anger or happiness. So if you laugh, you happy. If you smile, you happy. If you cry, you angry. If you confuse, you angry. If you jealous, you angry. Do you understand? If you feel like competition, you're angry. And that's why it's so much dysfunction going on with the world, but I'm the coach that's here to save the world. In order to save the world, I have to teach you how to heal. And teaching you how to heal is teaching you how to become emotionally intelligent. So how releasing creates space for new identity, because you get to create or step into your true authentic self. Okay? Releasing creates space for your new identity. It's not so much your new identity. It's just the whole purpose of the journey is to get you to your true authentic self. Your true authentic self is love. Let me give you an example. A baby is love, right? First off, let's start here. In order to tap into the frequency of love, you have to understand what love is. Love is not that conditional, unconditional, agape, or this, or that, or this, that, and the third five love language. That is not love. That is things that man told us to satisfy our mind, because what God has for us is indescribable. We can't even fathom what it is. So we make up and we find things to satisfy our mind. But God is love, period. It is the highest gift of all. It is God is love, period. So when you talk about sinning, as I always say, as you talk about sinning, yes, it is possible to not sin if you know how to love God. Because that type of love will never cheat. That type of love will never steal. That type of love will never kill. That type of love would never want to see anybody less than. That type of love is the love that nobody could understand. And that's why it blows a lot of people's mind when they get this feeling and they freak out, because they never experienced it before. Let me explain. When you are tapped in, you spiritually tapped into God, and you go into someone's life, what happens is they freak out. They run because they don't understand it. And the reason why they run is because they don't understand it. They do not understand how somebody can be pure, somebody can be genuine, so they find the loopholes in it and they say, something got to be wrong. Something happening here. Wait a minute, this can't be right. What is this? No, it got to be a catch to it. No, it's no way somebody will be that nice to you. It's no way somebody will do that good for you. It's no way for free. Oh, no. So she teaching for free. What's the catch to it? She giving us workbooks for free. What's the catch to it? Do you understand? It's always, you'll always look for a thing to compare it to, but it's nothing to compare it to. It's just love of God. But you can't love God until you learn to love yourself. What does that mean? Well, baby, the kingdom of God is within you. And if you don't love yourself enough to disconnect from everything that once was these toxic relationships, this nastiness that you're doing towards people, this negative mindset, if you don't love yourself enough, then how can you love God? So this is what you're saying. I love God, but I'm out here and I'm doing people wrong. I'm stealing from them, making them feel less than. I'm making this, and every chance I get, I'm jealous. I'm doing everything the 10 Commandments said don't do. I'm doing all that. I am showing the direct opposite of what love is. Love is kind. Love is peace. Love is joy. Love does not boast. It is humble. But I'm doing everything the opposite of that. And I'm talking about, yeah, I love God. How? Because that's not God. So when you get to your true authentic self, as I say, we were born from love. As babies, we're love. And I use this example. I don't like the example, but it gives you a better way to look at it. You have a lot of parents out here that abuse their children, right? They do all these wrong things to their children. And that child is constantly running back to mama, trying to get to her neck. Even though mama mistreated him, that baby is still trying to get back to the mama neck, because the baby, if I could just hug my mom, if my mom could just see me crying, if my mom could just if I could just hug her, she won't be so mean. She won't do these things to me. Do you understand? A child knows nothing but love. Hate is created because every time you reject it, you're rejecting it. It is the world rejecting that. It is the world rejecting God, because God is love. You get it? So the whole purpose of the journey of healing is to get you back to your true authentic self, which is where real love lies. Not where the world told you that, no, God ain't real. Not where the world told you that, no, you'll never get ahead, or that'll never be right. Listen, you got to fight for what you want. Listen, if nothing comes for free, you got to do this, that. Everything that God gives you is for free. People say it's a price to pay. It's really no price. All you have to do is be in your true authentic self, baby. It's free. That's what I'm teaching for free. I don't do anything. I ask God, well, how much I need? Do I need to charge for this? Nope. I'm going to teach you then. Because that was the same way with Jesus. If Jesus, listen, let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you. If when Jesus started out, when he finally stepped into his purpose and he left his hometown and he picked up his disciples and he told them, leave everything because where we're going and, everyone is not allowed to where we're going. And he wasn't talking about the people. What he was talking about is the mindset, meaning that everything that you learned and that was taught to you is no longer needed to where we're going. See, they was thinking with their physical eyes. They could only see things with their physical. Jesus was already using his spiritual eyes. He was already spiritually gone, right? He was already fully manifested into the person that he was supposed to be. So what he seen, they did not see. So what he was saying is what you learned and what you know has nothing to do with where we're going. It's not going to work. It's like having a key to the city. This key fits in every door of the city. No matter where you go, this key is going to fit everywhere you go, except for when you step into purpose. That key will not fit into any door that God has for you. It won't. Because in this season, you are now in purpose, and you are now learning to release and let go. Okay? So, release and create space for new identity. And it's not new identity. What it is you stepping into your true authentic self. It's new to you because you hadn't been that since a baby. You ain't known what true real love was since a baby. And you can't remember nothing when you was a baby. But you came into this world with love. That's the whole purpose. Mothers, we cry and scream and holler. We want somebody to love us. The baby born, it's like, oh, I need a babysitter. Get the baby out of here. I need a man. Get the baby out of here. I need a woman. The love was brought to you. I know that went over somebody's head. So listen, get your notebooks because this is your homework. I want you to write a goodbye letter to an old version of you. So I know y'all going to have a lot of letters. So you can do it one or two ways. I don't know. You can do it however you want. Listen, write a goodbye letter to an old version of you. Because in this new phase that you're going in healing, once you join the Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp, which you have, welcome to Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp, you're automatically enrolled when you come onto my live or any of my videos, automatically enrolled. That means that you're ready to heal and become the best version of yourself, which is your true authentic self. So I want you to write a letter to the old you. The old version of you. You might got 20 versions. So, baby, get your letters prepared. But I want you to speak to each one. I want you to speak to that one that loved to show up, that ego that shows up, that as soon as something go down, the cusser come out, the fighter come out, the one that liked to drink all the time. You getting rid of her. You know what I mean? You getting rid of the smoker. You getting rid of all of them. Write a letter to them. Get them up out of there. It's been real. Let them know. Hey, dear alcohol, it's been real. It's been real. Look, we done had some good times together. We done partied together. Boy, we had a time last night together. However, going in this forward part of my life, moving forward, you're no longer allowed into my life because you're going to cause disruption. You're going to cause chaos. You're going to cause confusion. Because every time I drink you, that spirit, every time I drink you, another spirit attaches to it. So I'm drunk. Now I'm off that tough man juice. That's what it is, right? Now you stronger than everybody. You the toughest one out here now. Now you got shame with you because after you sober up, now you shame. Now you all this. Do away with it. Put in your own timing. And that's the part of healing. I want to put this out there really quick. The part of healing is when you're ready. You do away with the things when you're ready. Because if you do it when everybody else tell you to do it, baby, you'll go back to it because you wasn't ready to let it go. So that's why that letter is so personal, because it's from you to that thing, you to that old version. Okay. I also want you to journal this. What belief or memory do I need to release to move forward? That's that guilt. A lot of you have not stepped into your purpose because you're too busy worrying about, well, what you did in the past. You did all these things in the past. Is it going to come back and bite me? Is it going to come back for me? What's going to happen? Are people going to remember that about me? Or what if it come back to surface and then now I'm thriving and all of a sudden I go viral for that? Girl, let God handle that and let that go. Bruh, let God handle it and let that go. If that's the case, I wouldn't be on here right now. I don't, and because I healed, I don't care nothing about what nobody said about me before. Because what y'all seen is my true authentic self. What y'all seen is my testimonies. What y'all seen is my true self, meaning that something can come up. Baby, I already told y'all that. What's the difference? Because I had to share my testimony with you. I didn't have to, but I chose to. Okay? So, over here, we don't do affirmations. I don't believe in affirmations. I believe in declarations. And the reason why. Affirmations is, even it's scientifically proven, though, that it says if you repeat something over and over, your mind begins to believe and then you become. But the problem is you never get in the belief mode. You stay in the affirmation mode, constantly saying and saying and saying, but you're not doing. And so that's why things don't manifest or come towards you. But when you declare a thing, see, God said, declare a thing. I declare a thing to be so. I declare everything. That means it's not about me believing. It's going to happen because I said it's going to happen. And it has happened. Thank y'all for the follow. Thank y'all for the likes. I ask that you guys share it. You're in class. We're ending the first session. We're closing out the first session, but we're about to jump into the second session. So come on through, get your notebook. So the declaration for today is going to be, I release every burden I was never meant to carry. I release every burden that I was never meant to carry. I let go so I can rise. My release is my rebirth, and I step into freedom with courage. Yeah. Y'all like that? Well, thank you, JoJo. Y'all like that? Let's read it again. Let's say it together. Listen, don't be ashamed. Y'all trying to heal, so let's say it together. I release every burden I was never meant to carry. I let go so I can rise. My release is my rebirth, and I step into freedom with courage.